Hello, welcome to Point On Studio. My name is Jungho Park. Today I'm going to show RhinoInside to create parametric tower, and we're also going to use SOFiSTiK plugin to analyze conceptual design stage in SOFiSTiK using Grasshopper, and eventually we're going to convert all analytical model as a Revit native elements by using RhinoInside for Revit. So you can imagine like this data interpolation between different platforms is easily done now with the RhinoInside. I hope Autodesk don't kill this new movement, and I really congrats and support RhinoInside team who is pushing the boundary of these two different software format or a platform, and I believe this is really game changer. Alright, so let's get started. So the example file I'm going to show you today is this sort of twisting tower in the middle part of the podium, and it's just twisting a bit and have some interesting architectural language here, and then just repeating the same typical floor building story up to the end. So this model is everything floor and columns, and the openings, everything is Revit native components. And I'm going to show you not the entire script, but basically the logic, how it works, so you can imagine how efficient working with RhinoInside. Alright, so here is the Grasshopper file that let me close and open from the scratch. Sorry about that. The open document, file, let's say this. So I prefer to separate the RhinoInside script completely from main script. Main script means, here is this conceptual design stage with a Grasshopper. And also I'd like to separate the SOFiSTiK plugin parts, but at the same time we can synchronize using this data input components. If you look at Grasshopper, you have here data input and output. So I can output the file that we can set the destination, and we can synchronize with data input components for the other part of script. The reason why I'm separating different plugin is that the RhinoInside is developing really quickly these days, and so maybe if you used all the components together, your script may crash and you'll never be able to open it again. That actually happens to me. The RhinoInside components that I used a year ago, now I cannot even open them because the development is really fast. So I recommend to detach it from your main script. And also, I'm using this my template that indicating the important parts of the script, and you can jump between, if there is design option, you can jump and see what option we can have. So for example, option 1 is this sort of funny curved wall in the design area, and option 2 is just straight columns. So you can convert different option. And of course, all the control areas. So for example, I can go and change the start floor area. So when it starts from, I think it does a bit too much. So you can see it parametrically change the level of building. So this is a really powerful tool. We can just change the slide, and then your whole building structure is actually update. I didn't enable this data output because I don't want to right now affect the main script, the other script from for the SOFiSTiK and also RhinoInside. but I just want to show this parametric tower, how it works. All right. The script is very simple, so you just set the core position, building levels, and grid and etc. And then there's some design part for the building slab profiles and column design and etc. I will put example file on my buy me a coffee poster. Post. So if you interested in, you can support me, simply support me or donate me to download the file. Otherwise, just I think it's pretty much simple script, so you can just build it yourself. All right, let's move on to the analytical part. So the data input part here, I'm just taking the source file, what I export from the output data output components, and you just referencing it. So anytime if the main source file change, then it will adopt the new change. And all these outputs from this data input components, they are just connecting to SOFiSTiK analytical model components, so you can analyze all this structural asset from main script. And all we need to do is basically analyze the analytical model in SOFiSTiK. So I'll just let me open the SOFiSTiK file now, and let's see. Just opening. So this is already, you can see we got analytical model from Grasshopper, and I just put here dead road. So I'm not the structural engineer, so but at least this intuitive workflow is working very parametrically, which is good. And let me freeze. This is the animation. So when you look, you can see where is the weak part, and how much deviation or deformation from your structure, and you can enhance the weak part from this. Mainly this is for the structural engineer, so I wouldn't talk too much. And when structural engineer is approved the concept, then let's say now the BIM coordinator or BIM manager who need to create all this geometry in Revit, we can use RhinoInside script. So back in Revit, let me delete all these levels as well as the elements, so we can completely regenerate the geometry. So first of all, I'm just unpin the elements. Once you unpin, let me just delete all the elements. So yeah, we're gonna delete all the floor plan because I'm going to generate levels using RhinoInside as well. So let's delete them. All right. Right. So we have this empty file. So now let me go to Revit here in RhinoInside, and I just download a current RhinoInside file. Alright, there's something new here. We have start and Rhino, open viewport, and etc. So looks, you see, RhinoInside developing crazy fast. I'm really excited about all this development. So let's go ahead. I'm just gonna first of all turn off the preview in Revit to maximize the performance, and let's go viewport. This is certainly new, so it's good. So we have Rhino viewport. Now we can, by clicking on this button, and we can separate only perspective view of the Rhino. And now let me hit the Grasshopper icon here, so we can bring our own script now in here for RhinoInside. And now what I'll do is, it's always recommend I'll disable the server before I'm loading the Grasshopper definition here, because maybe the heavy computation will crash the file. So so let me open the example file of RhinoInside. I'm just gonna, so because we disabled the server, when we drag and drop the file, it's not going to execute. And I just want to double check the script myself. So we have data input component here, and it will bring all the Grasshopper geometry to, you know, in this script. And here we can eventually work on a little bit to create Revit native elements. Okay, so what I'll do, I will disable here all these components. So I would like to create one by one, from foundation to slab to walls and columns and etc. And I am particularly interested in at the moment to creating the levels. So at this stage, I'm going to, you know, execute our script. So once this server is disabled, as you can see here, this lock button, but I can just, you know, still recompute to work with the script. Alright, so all these parts are transferred, and I'm going to enable my level. So enable here. So let's create Revit levels here using RhinoInside. Alright, so Grasshopper, and now I'm just gonna recompute one more time. Then as you can see, we have now here all the Revit levels that we planned for this particular project. And let me go ahead. This level has, its naming is also defined, as you can see from the script. Now I'm going to create the plans out of this level, just maybe some particular levels that he's interested in. So the floor plans are created, and now get back to my script again, RhinoInside, Grasshopper. And I would like to create perhaps, levels are all created. So let's go ahead creating foundation. So I'm going to now enable the foundation script, and let me compute. So if you go 3D view, as you can see, the foundation is just created with the foundation slab family here. And let me select all the levels. I want to maximize the 3D extents, so we have a full scope of level in this preview. Let's go to Grasshopper again, and I would like to show now here, as you can see in Rhino preview, also this slab is now created. Now I'm going to create floor slabs, and for that let's enable this part. And now I'm going to recompute. So all the floor slab, as you can see, is created. Beautiful. It works really nice, and it's so fast. You can see it's really fast. And I would like to also creating the openings, and of course I like to, we can create shafts because it's a tower project, but I would like to use family element to create openings. So in this script here, I'm gonna enable it. And right, so here we can create floor openings. I'm gonna also enable this part, so we can load particular opening family that we can insert at the position where we need to create the opening. So I'm ready. We can recompute. It may take a little bit of time because it's inserting all the family basically. So yeah, if I go to now floor plan, As you can see, this family create the opening for the core of the tower, which is perfect. And maybe I can start to draw section line here to see how the section look like in Revit. Yeah, so you see all the floor levels and the openings are inserted, so you can see it's beautiful, really nice. And let's go back to 3D view, and now I'm going to create more elements. Yeah, so open RhinoInside, go to Grasshopper. This time I'm going to create all the worlds which dealing with the core, so I'm gonna enable this part. Let's recompute. You see, now we have here all the segmented core wall for the tower, which is beautifully created. I really like the RhinoInside, by the way. And Grasshopper one more time. Now I'm going to generate all the columns. Maybe let's create also individual columns, so you know we can see step by step what elements are creating. So now I'm gonna, oh, by the way, you can also recompute from here. Compute. Then the script only runs for the particular columns we are interested in. And Revit is just generating all the columns now from your RhinoInside script. Right, so wow, it's really, isn't it beautiful? I found it like it's really nice. Yeah, the native column elements is there. Let's go ahead with the Grasshopper again, and this time I'll create sub columns that enable it, and let's recompute. And yeah, we're just repeating the same steps, but yeah, sub columns is created now in this outside the footprint of the tower. Now the tower looks getting better and better, how I imagine. Now Grasshopper and go to slanted column, I'm gonna enable, and let's recompute. So the slanted columns are also all created. Beautiful. You see, it's really beautiful. To me, it's like perfect project already. Alright, so back to Grasshopper again. Let's see what else we have here. So we generate levels, all the columns and floor. So I'm just gonna recompute the whole script. Yeah, that's it. So by separating the components from your main script, your script also looks much neat and organized. And here there are some warnings, but I can't cut. It's the opening flowed out of the host. There are some error, but it's not important error. It's just minor errors. So yeah, we're just controlling this opening size and etc. Right. So you know, we generate pretty much this sort of complex tower in couple of buttons, and it's already helping a lot to, you know, generating sections and plans and etc. Of course, we can do more detailed parts like controlling the base and top constraints. These are instance parameters, so we can fully control all this sort of constraints issue with columns and wall using RhinoInside. But for now, I'm not gonna talk about too much detail of beam management, but just showing the potential of this workflow. And now what I'll do, back in Rhino, and I'm going to, let me go back to RhinoInside, and yeah, I'm gonna again disable all this part, disable it, leave the input part as it is. Perhaps level I can leave it as enabled, you know. What I'll do, I'm gonna select the whole tower here. I'm gonna delete them, so except the levels. So all the elements I'm gonna unpin, and takes a bit of time to unpin, and I'm going to delete them, so they are gone now. Alright, so we still keep the levels because I don't want to create it again. Now what I'm gonna do, we leave it the server disabled, and let's go to our main script. So main script here for the tower. I'm going to move the position of this twisted slab area. So let's go here to control path, and I'm gonna move them a bit higher position. And alright, I think it's okay. I mean, I like to be in the low part, but it's fine. It's okay, just for the test. And let's enable this component. So the destination file is going to be updated according to new design of the slab here. And when I go back to analytical part, as you can see, the analytical model for SOFiSTiK is also updated because we are synchronizing the data output from main script for this input, and it's beautiful, and it's already slightly different structure now. And let's analyze it. So I'm gonna go to SOFiSTiK part, and this file is updated. Let me open SSD file here. Yeah, the geometry data, it's this file. Let me update now. Just this data file just updated now. So I'm gonna copy and paste it into this new source file, and let's calculate it. I'm gonna calculate this new geometry from Grasshopper. So the SOFiSTiK is now refreshing and regenerating the mesh model from Grasshopper output. And it's generating the linear analysis. So let's have a look. As you can see, now the whole structure is changed accordingly, and you can see the dead road here. I'll just freeze the image so we can have a look. This full deformed model, which is very nice. You can see we can change the cross section. So here the deformation is quite large. Definitely we have to improve the structure, but I'm architect, so I would like to leave it as it is and maybe structural engineers will solve some issue in this complex area. And let's go back to RhinoInside. I'm gonna open our RhinoInside script again back in Revit. Yeah, all the other parts we leave it not enable, and I just want to update our input model. So now if I turn on this input data, as you can see, this part of structure also adopted from our main script, which is beautiful. Now I will enable all this part at once, so we can compare, we can see how fast it generates all the components in Revit. And let's observe. I'm gonna recompute from Revit directly, so you can see how long it will take. So now, right now, it's at 4. I'm just gonna click recompute, and now all the magic is happening here, generating everything from the scratch. Yeah, around on 1 minute of time, and I would say my computer is also not perfect, but As you can see, we have like beautiful structure, new updated structure in Revit, and that's fully documentable because they are all native Revit elements, right? So let me go this level, for example, it's level 24. I'm just gonna create new floor plan for that, 24, and it's already there. It's perfect, you know. I really like it. So in the section view, as you can see, you have complete new structure. There's some minor issue. I think the because of the adoption floor level changed, but this is just minor thing. You can change your script. Alright, so that's the whole idea, how parametrically we can change the tower structure using RhinoInside. I mean, there are a lot more interesting parts we can talk about in terms of facade or room layouts and some more interesting, you know, topics, curtain walls, and I don't know, some more interesting part. But that part, I'm gonna leave it for the next another tutorials. I mean, I'm not really showing all the workflow. The main idea of my here in this video is showing you the concept, how we can collaborate between computational designer or architects with structural engineer and also the BIM managers or BIM coordinator who dealing with our like Revit model through the RhinoInside. And I think this gives you enough idea. And if you like to download the example file, you can find it from down description box, and you can, you know, donate me however you like, and you can download whole script. Okay, I think that's all for today, and I really appreciate watching until the end, if you really watched it until the end. Otherwise, if you like my video, please subscribe and click on like, and you can also click on the bell icon to get notified for the next video. In next video, I would like to create complex bridge structure using SOFiSTiK plugin for Grasshopper and convert all bridge component as Revit native elements using RhinoInside. I think you can see a lot of different potential for infrastructure project using RhinoInside and SOFiSTiK. Thank you very much and wish you all the best. Bye bye.